Yeah, it's the strong results this quarter, and it's also the 5th consecutive quarter with record results. And the big driver is, of course, the aluminium price and the premiums on top of aluminium prices. We are still benefiting from the very tight markets in the second quarter. We are a Norwegian producer, so we're also benefiting from the appreciation of the dollar. And this combined with strong earnings in our recycling, strong sales of greener products, and high energy prices is benefiting our results.
And can I just ask you, one of the major themes for companies last quarter, but even more so this quarter, is that of rising costs. How have you had to adapt to rising input costs?
Well, rising input costs we see across our operations also when it comes to fuel oil, when it comes to caustic soda, when it comes to pet coke and pitch. We've seen this started to flatten a bit. We're not taking any additional measures than continuing to produce, absorbing the costs with an even higher margin.
And just in terms of some of those costs, the catalyst being logistics bottlenecks, do you see any signs that those are going to ease in the second half of the year?
We already see it easing to some extent. Of course, it is volatile, but you've seen freight rates coming off in some places. You've seen some of the harbor, the bottlenecks loosening up. So unless we see more COVID restrictions being put in place, for example, in China, the outlook seems to be a bit more positive than it was half to a year ago.
Paul, there's been a lot of focus on the energy storage situation across different countries in Europe, and I'm interested in putting that question to you because I know that your reservoirs provide about 90% of Norway's output. So talk us through your current storage levels and how you see things panning out in the winter months.
Well, in Europe, as well as in Norway, the energy markets are tight now. And we've had one of the drier periods through history in the southwest Norway, draining the energy reservoirs, which has pushed prices upwards. If we have a situation with normal rain during the period to come, the balance should be okay moving into the winter quarters. If we have less rain and improvements in hydrological balance than what we normally have, the situation can become even more constrained. Currently, this is reflected well in the market prices, which have been driven up, and you see that this drives some consumer changes and the like. But I guess we will have to go forward and see how the weather actually plays out to know what the situation will be like in the fourth quarter. For a company like Hydro, we have long-term power contracts for the majority of our production, and we also sell electricity from our energy operations into the market. So at the moment, it's a net positive in the Nordics, but an uncertainty on the continent, especially with respect to gas.